I will never kill. Not even you.
What?
I will never kill.
One of the first things that probably comes to mind when you think about Batman is the fact that he has a no-kill rule. Multiple appearances of Batman in media have tried to adapt this to varying degrees of success, and a lot of people consider Ben Affleck's Batman to be the only one that is killed, but this simply isn't true. I think if you take a proper look, it becomes evidently clear that every single live-action version of Batman has killed. Today, I'm going to take a look at every Batman and their killing tendencies, and evaluate them based on their justifications. Just so we're clear, I'm going to consider him breaking the no-kill rule if he commits murder or manslaughter. Yeah, I shouldn't really have to explain the definitions of killing, but a lot of people seem to think if you commit manslaughter you haven't killed someone. You have, you just haven't murdered them. So it counts as breaking a no killing rule. You know, if you think life is sacred, you can't just manslaughter someone and it'd be okay. Michael Keaton. Yeah, this version of Batman does not care whatsoever. This guy just be killing whoever he feels like. They did not even try to pretend like Batman had a no killing rule. According to this video by Mr. Sunday Movies, he kills around 20 people in both films combined. And in terms of a justification, there isn't really one. This Batman just likes killing. It's sort of easier to ignore in these films because they're so campy and fairy tale like. There's just like, whenever someone gets blown up, it just feels like a Looney Tunes type injury. And I think given the context of this being the first serious dark Batman film, it's sort of forgivable. It's not accurate, but these films are more Tim Burton films than they are Batman films. I think there isn't really a justification, but I'm not really mad at it. It's not accurate at all, but I just don't really care. I've never taken these films too seriously. Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Sorry, I am not watching these films for this video. Apparently, according to Google, these versions of Batman don't kill anyone, so I guess they're the most accurate versions. Let's go. Christian Bale. Simply put, the Dark Knight trilogy does a poor job in adapting Batman's no-kill rule. Put the torches down, put the torches down. I'm going to explain why, Please chill the fuck out. In Batman Begins, Bruce makes it expressly clear that he is against killing. When the League of Shadows asks him to execute a man, he just refuses.
I'm no executioner. This man should be tried.
And what better way to get across your opinion that killing is wrong than to launch a rod that's on fire towards some gunfire, causing an explosion, blowing up a monastery, causing a fire, which almost certainly killed a few people there, and it probably definitely killed the man he was refusing to kill in the first place. I mean, that guy was chained up. How the fuck is he gonna get out of there? And when he does, he's just gonna die of hypothermia. Yeah, whatever. I can ignore this. In the final battle with Raish. It's Raish. Come on now. Actually, I think in Arabic it's Raz. I don't care, I'm calling it Raish. The final battle with Raish is really, really dumb. Batman says,
I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
and I am sorry, but this is a fatal misinterpretation of Batman's no-kill rule. Firstly, Batman's rule isn't just not to kill, it's to ensure no one dies. As Superman said, more than anyone in the world, when you scratch everything else away from Batman, you're left with someone who doesn't want to see anybody die.
He didn't have to die.
You're crazy. You're absolutely insane. He killed your friend. Tried to murder Nightwing. Hell, he almost killed me, and you're sorry he's dead?
I had to try. If someone can be saved, I have to try.
Every decision you've ever made ends with death and misery. People die. I stop you. You'll just break out and do it again.
Think of it as a running cow! No!
Do you want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
That actually is pretty funny.
Batman not saving someone when he easily can pretty much goes against his no-kill rule. And secondly, I think Batman forgot that he is partly the reason that the train is about to crash anyway. His actions directly put the train in a position where it would fall and kill Ra's, such as him asking Jim to shoot the pillars of the train tracks. Like, he directly caused the train to be in a position where it's going to fall off the track. So not saving him isn't just an omission, since he directly caused the situation he was refusing to save him from in the first place. Batman Begins just does a shit job in justifying this, because they treat Batman's killing, well, not saving of Ra's at the end, they treat it as something noble. But even if I accept that Batman didn't put Ra's in a situation which was likely to kill him, even if I say, okay, this situation Batman had nothing to do with, he just got there and this train was about to crash, Batman's no-kill rule still is really just a no-death rule. If someone can be saved, he's gonna try. If someone can so easily be saved, he's not just gonna let them die. I think when we get to The Dark Knight, this film does a lot of a better job. You know, you get the scene where the Batman prevents the Joker from falling to his death. That is classic Batman. But Batman does kill Two-Face in this film. Harvey is about to shoot Gordon's kid, and you know, this is one of those genuine no-win scenarios. I'm not going to shit on this too hard, because Bruce clearly didn't want Harvey to die, and he's devastated afterwards. This is sort of just one of those forced hand type of killings, like similar to when Batman blows up that guy in BVS to save Martha. In context, it makes sense that Batman would prioritize the life of the kid, and you know, the fall was a quick, desperate, unplanned attempt to save the kid's life. Batman himself literally survived the same fall, so maybe he assumed Harvey would survive too. I still don't think it's ideal to put Batman in a situation where he has to break his fundamental character traits. Just write it so he manages to save Den, or anything else that doesn't cause him to be killing people. But you know what, whatever. It makes sense as to why he would have killed Den, and I'm not too mad about it, and I think the justification is fine. By the time we get to The Dark Knight Rises, I don't like this film, I'm sorry. Batman shoots and kills Talia's driver, causing the truck to crash, and then that crash kills Talia. He doesn't really seem to care after the fact. Whatever, I don't care anymore. Maybe, you know what, there was such a lot on stake, saving the whole city. Maybe he didn't have time to feel bad about it. Whatever. The Nolan trilogy at least attempts to adapt Batman's no-killing rule, so it gets points for that. But my issue with it is it tells us one thing and shows us another. It just worms its way out of the no-killing rule at times, and it's very inconsistent. I'm just not a fan of the way these films adapted it. Ben Affleck. Okay, this is clearly the most violent version of Batman. I do not need to explain why. He clearly has no regard for human life throughout Batman vs Superman. He uses the Batmobile and Batwing guns, causing vehicles to explode with people inside. He knocks enemies into lethal situations. He just brutally beats the shit out of people in a way that almost certainly fatal. And then his, goal in the film is to kill Superman. But I'm gonna give these films some credit. At least they try to make an in-story justification. This is a Batman who has been through so much. Robin's dead. Gotham hasn't improved. He feels his war has been pointless. He gets to a pretty dark place in this film. He's burned out, traumatized, and he's just turned into an extreme version of who he used to be. Essentially, this film shows Batman at his lowest point, and his whole character arc is about him pulling himself back from that edge. As we see in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he becomes a more hopeful, less cynical Batman. He gets to redeem himself and become a better version of himself. But the issue is, we never get to see the version of Batman who did originally follow the no-killing rule, the one who slowly fell into this darker mentality. We're literally just dropped into this film where Batman is just a murderer, and the film expects us to fill in the gaps ourselves. There are hints and references like the burned Robin suit, Alfred's comments, whatever, but nothing concrete. A prequel showing that downfall would have fixed a lot of the issues with this. But inherently, it still doesn't really matter. Batman shouldn't be killing. Obviously, it's just not his character. But I'm going to give this version some credit. At least this is the only one that actually acknowledges it and tries to explain why. He's by far the most brutal, but he's also the most thematically justified, if you ask me. He doesn't pretend to be better than he is. The film doesn't show him to be better than he is. They frame it as an issue. I'm not saying any of this to justify why Batman kills. Batman should not kill. It's still stupid. All I'm saying is, at least this version made an attempt of explaining why. A pretty shit attempt. Zack Snyder himself openly defended this version of Batman, and his reasoning explains a lot of what we see on screen. He says,
this is their religion, and they feel strongly about it. And by the way, the truth is, it's my religion too. I do take a deconstructivist point of view because of Dark Knight Returns, because of Watchmen. Batman can't kill, right? So Batman can't kill is canon. And I'm like, okay, well, the first thing I want to do when you say that is I want to see what happens. And they go like, well, don't put him in a situation where he has to kill someone. I'm like, well, that's just like, you're protecting your God in a weird way, right? You're making your God irrelevant if he can't be in that situation. He has to now deal with that. Tell you, but does he stand up to it? Can he survive that?
I think he might have lost the plot a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I'll leave you to it, Zach, mate. I think his attempt at justifying it is pretty lame. Like, Batman just directly kills people. It's not even subtle. But I'm sorry. I'm taking this over Batman saying he doesn't kill, but also just killing people, and then the film not even discussing it. Robert Pattinson. This one hurts me the most to say, but I think Robert Pattinson is the worst offender. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. This one specific part of the film really ruins it for me, even though I love this film. Can you guess what I'm talking about? It's the highway scene. Simply put, he is a substantial cause for multiple innocent people dying. Penguin becomes a suspect for Batman's investigation into the Riddler, believing he may be the Rat. Penguin tries to flee the scene after a gunfight breaks out, so Batman chases him down the highway. It's important to say, Penguin is not an immediate danger to anyone at the time of fleeing. He's a suspect. He's not actively harming people. I mean, Batman literally could question him any other night. He knows exactly where he is. He works for Falcone, he stays in Gotham, he stays around the same places. There's no urgency to justify what happens next, and this is even proved by the fact they just let him go after the fact. You know, Batman wasn't trying to arrest him, he wasn't put him away. This car chase eventually leads to Batman speeding on the wrong side of the highway to get him. This is clearly extremely reckless. His actions directly lead to the car crashes and the explosions. What annoys me about this is the amount of people defending it. Firstly, as I already explained, I don't think there was enough of a sense of emergency to justify this car chase, but most people will justify this by saying it's the Penguin's fault, not Batman, but this is dumb. Clearly, it's both of their faults, but if Batman didn't chase him, the explosion would never have happened. Even if we look at legal standards, his actions were inherently reckless, a risk of death was pretty clear, the outcome was completely foreseeable, and the explosions were a direct consequence of Batman's actions. It doesn't matter that Penguin was also at fault. He's not a fucking superhero with a no-kill rule. Batman is. Batman's actions were more than a significant contributing factor to all of these deaths. They were an operating and substantial cause of these deaths. If any of us did this, we're gonna get sent to prison for either murder or manslaughter. It doesn't matter that he didn't intend to kill anyone. If you do something so massively reckless that death is a predictable outcome, you're responsible for those deaths. It's like a police officer chasing a suspect for a busy street at high speed. Even if the officer is trying to do the right thing, the crash that follows is still their responsibility because the danger came from the way they pursued the suspect. Watching this scene just shocked me, and I was waiting for the guilt or the introspection to come later, but it never did. This moment was never reflected upon. Batman never expressed guilt for his actions. Yes, Batman at the end of the film realizes he's too obsessed with vengeance and he needs to be better, but there's no implication that his actions on the highway in any way made him feel guilty. The film never acknowledges it. It just moves on as though this wasn't one of the most destructive things Batman has ever done. Yes, this is a young Batman. He's inexperienced, he's emotional, he's still trying to figure out his role as Batman, and that's fine. But if the story's going to show him committing a catastrophic mistake with severe civilian casualties, then it needs to at least reflect upon it afterwards, and that is all I would need. Him taking it in, him seriously reflecting on it, him being mad at himself, that would have made this not be an issue for me. And it's a shame because I love this film. I love Robert Pattinson's Batman. I think he's the best, but this scene really bothers me, and for all the people who justify it, you would not be justifying it if it was you or your loved ones in the cars. Who the fuck is gonna say, nah mate, it's fine my fucking dad got murdered to death in an explosion because Batman needed to catch that guy to get a bit of unurgent information, even though he knows where that guy will be at any given point, and he never even arrested him. My truck driving father died for a good cause. Like, no, shut up, just shut up. Like, that's not how this works. Okay though, Robert, you're still my favourite Batman. To conclude, every live action version of Batman has killed. Ben Affleck gets a lot of hate for it, and rightly so, but at least his version of Batman tried to explain why he killed. Christian Bale's Batman claims to have a no-kill rule, but we can see with our own eyes that he routinely breaks it. Him not saving people when he easily can is also a misunderstanding of Batman's no-kill rule. Robert Pattinson is by far the worst offender for me, even though he's my favourite Batman. In my favourite Batman film, his reckless actions directly caused innocents to die, and it's hard for me to look past that. When the movie ignores it and acts like it didn't happen, it's easy to make excuses for things we like, but if Batman was in court, he would most definitely be guilty of murder, if not definitely manslaughter. And this video is in no means a justification for some of the character choices made in Batman vs Superman. It's simply to highlight that no live action version of Batman has clean hands. They have all killed, but at least Ben Affleck's Batman, the story acknowledged and reflect on him killing. So, you know, if someone really likes Ben Affleck's Batman, I don't think it's a good counterpoint to say, well, that version of Batman kills, because every version of Batman has done it. If Batman was real, I don't know about you, but I would much prefer one who kills criminals than one who doesn't, but is so reckless he kills innocent people and he doesn't even give a shit after the fact. just to be clear, I do understand the difference between Ben Affleck Batman and other Batmans. In those films, the directors intended for him to kill, whereas in The Batman, clearly the intention wasn't for him to kill, since he expressed he has a no-kill rule. That car scene was just a byproduct of filmmaking, and I would much rather a Batman who says he doesn't kill, but sometimes I'm watching the film and I'm like, okay, that guy definitely died. So I do get the difference. I'm just being a bit provocative. But let me know what you think. Maybe I'm looking too deeply into it. Maybe it's about the intentions of the filmmaker as opposed to what is actually seen on screen. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you're right. Let me know what you think.
Bye bye.